Everywhere you look, you're inundated with capitalist media. It's all there is on TV, all there is on radio, won't find much else in the newspaper and magazine departments either. Now, it's true that the internet and podcasting has been able to disrupt the stranglehold, but even that is changing as major platforms like YouTube and Twitch turn their back on the independent creators who built the platforms and start catering to investor-owned outlets instead. This isn't just bad for the left's goals of overthrowing capitalism, it's also bad for workers. Your job at investor-owned media outlets, even ones that are doing well, is increasingly at risk as capital seeks to expand their profit margins. For example, Netflix has over 200 million subscribers, yet the company is now engaged in mass layoffs to satisfy investors who want more returns. But as anti-capitalists, we trudge on. And that's exactly what my next guest is doing, Alex Kotch, the co-founder of a new app called OptOut that allows users to get their news from non-corporate sources. It's a platform of independent creators and journalists, including yours truly. You can listen to the Means Morning News podcast each day on OptOut, as well as my other project, District Sentinel Radio. OptOut isn't just pushing back against corporate narratives, but also strengthening a growing left-wing media ecosystem. And I chatted with Alex recently about it all. Alex, I've got the app here, the OptOut News app, and I'm looking at it. It looks sleek. It's easy to use. I'm scrolling through all these stories from all different outlets. None of them cable news, capitalist outlets. You've got live streams here. It's a really, really cool app. What inspired the idea? What prompted you to come up with this?
In 2020, as I often did at the time, I would wake up, look at my iPhone, go to the widgets, and then my eyes would automatically lock onto Apple News. And there'd be 4 or 5 feature stories, and none of them would be really of interest to me. And they'd all be from corporate news outlets that I was really tired of reading. And so I thought, I called up my friend Walker Bragman, another reporter, and said, what if we tried to do an Apple News or a Google News app, but for actual media that we want to read, that's independent of corporate influence, that's trustworthy, and that, my friends and I and everyone would want to use. So it was just kind of a little idea, like a daydream almost. And then, 2 years later, we actually did it.
What I love about this idea is there's often a lot of discussion on the left about how to leverage media for our own purposes. And a lot of that kind of focuses on like, how do we get cable news outlets to cover our story? Or how do we get to a point where we're not being maligned all the time by the capitalist press? And you saw this a lot during the Bernie Sanders campaign. Like, no matter the rallies, the doors knocked on, the phone calls, like it was really hard to overcome just this swarm of bad press from the investor-owned news outlets. There's not nearly as much focus on how do we build our own damn outlets that we can then promote and get popular and get more people to what we're doing rather than trying to like get the corporate press to cover us. Is that a motivating factor here to build up these networks that are right now just kind of burgeoning?
Oh yeah, I mean that's the focus. I'm a reporter myself. I've worked for a series of independent news outlets over the last decade, so I know firsthand kind of the problems of getting in the national conversation for a small independent outlet. It's extremely difficult. It definitely happens. A lot of the outlets in our network do it occasionally, but we should really be part of that national conversation. The idea is to help these outlets, including Means Morning News and Means TV, get into that conversation by having more distribution. So we thought that, an app, a central hub for information where someone can go on the app and based on one outlet that they follow that happens to be on the app, and they can find out about 150 more. So we can basically pool our audience and thus sort of eventually get bigger and bigger. So we thought, being a charity, offering a free promotion service for all these great outlets that we really like and respect a lot, that are financially independent, that do honest reporting, that people can really trust. we think that eventually we can really become part of that national conversation, and it'll help everyone involved.
Yeah, I can't think of any other apps that are like this, where you have like a news feed to read articles, then you can scroll over and immediately start watching some live streams that are going on. So like Rob Rousseau's show is going on right now, is where we're talking about this. Did you know anything about app building before you embarked on this? Did you have to just like suddenly learn how to make this stuff?
Not at all. And I did not build the app. That's credit to the Progressive Coders Network, which is a group of tech activists. It's also a nonprofit that I pitched in 2020 with the idea. So I've learned a lot about how it kind of comes together and how it works. And I've been working intimately with the team, but I myself still don't know how to do a line of code. My expertise is in journalism and music, actually. So yes, no background in tech or apps. But I think that's a good thing. We're doing this differently than all the other news aggregators, which have these predatory algorithms that are designed for profit, that often sort of showcase, in terms of Facebook and Twitter, showcase conspiracy theories and hate speech. Those things are not cool with us. We want to have news that's important, and it's actually hand curated by journalists themselves. So there's no algorithm governing what you see. It's all content that reporters like myself are choosing to highlight for you.
It's the OptOut News app. You can get it right now on the Apple Store. What's the reception been like so far, and where do you envision this going?
Yeah, well, so far we have a 4.8 rating on the Apple Store out of 5. There's a couple folks who had issue with something or other, but we've
pay no attention to the haters.
Yeah, exactly. I've been on Twitter for years. I know exactly what to do about the trolls. But no, we have almost entirely 5-star ratings so far. Everyone's really excited for the Android release, and I want to assure everyone that is coming out soon. We're working in parallel. We decided to go with the iPhone first and do the Android shortly after. So please stay tuned. Sign up for our free newsletter at optout.news, and you'll find out when the Android is being released. So we're looking forward to doubling our audience very quickly when that comes out.
Great, Alex. Once again, thanks for making this. The audience can listen to Means Morning News podcast on it and catch a whole bunch of other programs and stuff on the left right now. OptOut News app. Check it out. Thanks for coming on the show and talking to us about it, Alex.
Thanks so much, Sam. And really, thanks for all your great work in Means Morning News and the District Sentinel.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.